I'm Lauren Walker Lee, and I'm doing the meditation this evening. It has been a difficult year, hasn't it? It has been a year of loneliness, sorrow, and anxiety in so many ways. I have a recollection of waiting for 2020 to be the year when I could put so much of 2019 behind me. If the presidential election itself wasn't enough, the arrival of the coronavirus in late February took us over the top, and then the killing of George Floyd and other African Americans, the necessary marches, losing my father, and then the smoke from the forest fires. Though you're likely to be much better than me, I've slowed my exercising to a literal crawl. Wonder why I'm continuing to bake sourdough bread when my waistline keeps expanding. And I'm faced with the challenge of taking an historic nonprofit agency into the virtual future. But more than anything else, I've lost my church community as I knew it. I have not been sleeping well, have you? Sid taught me a long time ago that when I wake up, that before the anxiety sets in, to get up and relax and have fun. That means pouring yourself a beverage and finding a book and reading. So I've been reading a lot in the middle of the night, and that means what I think will be 20 minutes turns into an hour or two. Nevertheless, I've enjoyed stealing away to the spare bedroom or study, sometimes with a tiny bit of Scottish whiskey, and sometimes not, to focus on other worlds foreign to my anxiety-filled world. The list of books is long for me, ranging from Barbara Brown Taylor's wonderful, soothing, and thoughtful storytelling to plunging myself into the world of reading non-white authors to come to terms with my own white privilege. Don't tell anyone, and especially not Sid, but though people often tell me they admire my confidence, I worry all the time. Sid will tell you that my response is often, worry works. All that middle of the night or daytime thought does help me oftentimes arrive at better solutions to the challenges that I face. I'm often very hard on myself. Losing the weekly or more touchstones of seeing you at IPC has left me rattled. My focus on God seems to have blown away with those forest fire smoke. The sourdough bread, the all-day long Zoom meetings, the loss of the communication style that I know, doesn't replace the practiced prayer life that has given me comfort for most of my life. And so, early this summer, I heard that Reuben and Henry were joining a weekly Zoom meeting with all of their Walker cousins to connect with 97-year-old Grandma Pat, and had chosen a book to read together. Braiding Sweetgrass, Henry said. You'll like it, said Reuben. To be part of this 30 to 40-year-old group of cousins, I purchased the book with no expectations or knowledge. I put aside my book club book so that I could catch up with the group of millennials to see if they had anything to share with me to contribute to my sometimes stress-filled reality. Robin Wall Kimmerer's Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teaching of Plants is the first book that I've ever read that once finished, I immediately started to book over on chapter 1. The book's essays became my night and daytime salve and prayer substitute for this weary world in which we live. Wall Kimmerer's bio as an enrolled member of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation and distinguished professor of environmental biology gives a scientific analysis of our planet, the spiritualism of her people, and a social justice message akin to Black Lives Matter, right between the eyes, or at the center of our hearts. Also a poet, I loved the artistry of her writing. It wasn't until the middle of the night during one reading when I was dumbfounded by her story and words. I suppressed the catch in my throat to stop a desire to sob. Throughout this stressful year, I had forgotten to be grateful. And so here is my meditation that I am sharing with you. In the chapter titled Allegiance to Gratitude, the author starts with a story of her 6th grade daughter choosing to not stand with the class to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Not that she wasn't being disruptive, really, or misbehaving, but just sat quietly in her seat and wouldn't join in, her teacher said. After a couple of days, the other students began following suit. Robin Wall Kimmerer shares a thoughtful commentary on this classroom and public tradition that fits in with cultural awareness that we all need to hear, but moves to a story of comparison of the tradition of the Haudenosaunee school children who take turns reciting their famous Thanksgiving address or greetings to the natural world, not once in a while, but each day. Though not a prayer as we know it, I ask you to listen in prayerful reflection with me. Please pray with me. The Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving Address, Greetings to the Natural World. The people. Today we have gathered and we see that the cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and all the living things. So now we bring our minds together as one as we give greetings and thanks to each other as people. Now our minds are one. The Earth Mother. We are thankful to our Mother the Earth, for she gives us all that we need for life. She supports our feet as we walk upon her. It gives us joy that she continues to care for us as she has from the beginning of time. To our Mother, we send greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one. The water. We give thanks to all the waters of the world for quenching our thirst and providing us with strength. Water is life. We know its power in many forms. Waterfalls and rain, mists and streams, rivers and oceans. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the Spirit of water. Now our minds are one. The fish. We turn our minds to all the fish life in the water. They were instructed to cleanse and purify the water. They also give themselves to us as food. We are grateful that we can still find pure water. So we turn now to the fish and send our greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one. The plants. Now we turn toward the vast fields of plant life. As far as the eye can see, the plants grow, working many wonders. They sustain many life forms. With our minds gathered together, we give thanks and look forward to seeing plant life for many generations to come. Now our minds are one. The food plants. With one mind, we turn to honor and thank all the food plants we harvest from the garden. Since the beginning of time, the grains, vegetables, beans, and berries have helped the people survive. Many other living things draw strength from them too. We gather all the food plants together as one and send them a greeting of thanks. Now our minds are one. The medicine herbs. Now we turn to all the medicine herbs of the world. From the beginning, they were instructed to take away sickness. They are always waiting and ready to heal us. We are happy there are still among us those special few who remember how to use these plants for healing. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the medicines and to the keepers of the medicines. Now our minds are one. The animals. We gather our minds together to send greetings and thanks to all the animal life in the world. They have many things to teach us as people. We are honored by them when they give up their lives so we may use their bodies as food for our people. We see them near our homes and in the deep forests. We are glad they are still here, and we hope that they will always be so. Now our minds are one. The trees. We now turn our thoughts to the trees. The earth has many families of trees who have their own instructions and uses. Some provide us with shelter and shade, others with fruit, beauty, and other useful things. Many people of the world use a tree as a symbol of peace and strength. With one mind we greet and thank the tree life. Now our minds are one. The birds. We put our minds together as one and thank all the birds who move and fly about over our heads. The Creator gave them beautiful songs. Each day they remind us to enjoy and appreciate life. The eagle was chosen to be their leader. To all the birds, from the smallest to the largest, we send our joy of greeting and thanks. Now our minds are one. The four winds. We are thankful to the powers we know as the four winds. We hear their voices in the moving air as they refresh us and purify the air we breathe. They help us to bring the change of seasons. From the four directions they come, bringing us messages and giving us strength. With one mind, we send our greetings and thanks to the four winds. Now our minds are one. The thunderers. Now we turn to the west where our grandfathers, the thunder beings, live. With lightning and thunder voices, they bring with them the water that renews life. We are thankful that they keep those evil things away. We bring our minds together as one to send greetings and thanks to our grandfathers, the thunderers. Now our minds are one. The sun. We now send greetings and thanks to our eldest brother, the sun. Each day, without fail, he travels the sky from east to west, bringing the light of the new day. He is the source of fires of life. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our brother, the sun. Now our minds are one. Grandmother Moon. We put our minds together to give thanks to our oldest grandmother. Each day without fail, we put our minds together to give thanks to our oldest grandmother, the moon, who lights the nighttime sky. She is the leader of women all over the world, and she governs the movement of the ocean tides. By her changing face, we measure time, and it is the moon who watches over the arrival of children here on earth. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our grandmother, the moon. Now our minds are one. The stars. We give thanks to the stars who are spread across the sky like jewelry. We see them in the night, helping the moon to light the darkness and bring dew to the gardens and growing things. When we travel at night, they guide us home. With our minds gathered together as one, we send greetings and thanks to the stars. Now our minds are one. The enlightened teachers. We gather our minds to greet and thank the enlightened teachers who have come to help throughout the ages. When we forget how to live in harmony, they remind us of the way we were instructed to live as people. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to these caring teachers. Now our minds are one. The Creator. Now we turn our thoughts to the Creator, or Great Spirit, and send greetings and thanks for all the gifts of creation. Everything we need to live a good life is here on this Mother Earth. For all the love that is still around us, we gather our minds together as one and send our choicest words of greetings and thanks to the Creator. Now our minds are one. We now have arrived in a place where we end our words. Of all the things we have named, it was not our intention to leave anything out. If something was forgotten, we leave it to each individual to send such greetings and thanks in their own way. Now our minds are one. Robin Wall Kimmerer's stories have been the salve to my wounds and in many ways the voice of my prayers. I began to think about what I was grateful for. For Sid, of course, our kids, grandkids, and family. For friends, especially a dear friend who is a widow and finding love. The garden, cooking, and crazy as this may seem, IPC virtual services and programs. I still miss all of you and our IPC traditions, but I can continue to be grateful and to give thanksgiving for the plants, teachers, the moon, and acknowledge our presence on this land of Indigenous people. And remember that all our minds are one. Please think about what you're grateful for. This is my meditation with you. Take care, take heart, and share joy.